ancestors didn't.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Let's see if we have everybody here. Tag a friend, tag another brother, tag another sister. We should be able to continue where we left off at right now. Yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna give people a couple of minutes, a few seconds, I guess you will, to hop back on the live. All right, and let's see here. Let's do something here real quick. So, as you can see, I wasn't making this up with what I was trying to convey to you all. They shut down abruptly, rudely, shut down my stream, saying that I had content uh, that I was not supposed to use. I don't know what that means. I got fair use up, mentioned fair use. I'm on the screen. I'm commenting. I'm sharing my thoughts about the content, and yet YouTube took my video and shut down the stream. This is going to show you all what I'm talking about. So I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not making any of this stuff up. And I already know eventually they're going to demonetize that video as well too, which is why I'm asking for those of you to prayerfully consider supporting this ministry, supporting this channel through other means outside of Super Chat. Do not use Super Chat. Please use the links that I have provided at the bottom of the video. That way you can be rest assured that your gifts will be sent directly to me and not have to be lost or anything like that. So again, you all seen it for yourself in real time. We're almost done. Have about less than about another hour to go, but we'll go ahead and continue on where we left off at. One monkey don't stop no show. All right. So we just talked about and just discussed Jamal Truelove's experience and him being one of the victims and recipients of Kamala Harris's prosecutorial history. And this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because the black community does not know a lot about this woman. And so before I was rudely and abruptly cut off, I mentioned to you, we're going to discuss three areas of Kamala Harris's life that we need to find out if it passes biblical muster. We already talked about her life, or who she is as a person. Kamala Harris, the person. Kamala Harris, the prosecutor. Kamala Harris, the politician. Right now, we're on Kamala Harris, the prosecutor. We're almost done delving and digging into her life about that. So far, again, it doesn't look good. Again, like, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me make sure my Facebook family is able to see me as well, too. They should be. Let's see. Let me go back here. Make sure the Facebook family is good, because I know they were knocked out as well too. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Here we go. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Again, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, as long as I'm on here. And share it on your Facebook page as well too. All right. So now again, we're almost done dealing with and addressing and drilling down into Kamala Harris's prosecutorial record. Again, so far, it doesn't look good. It doesn't line up with biblical precept and principles. It doesn't pass muster. But again, it's one thing when you have the victims. It's one thing when you have people who were recipients of her prosecutorial record and her power being used against them in abusive fashion. But it's another thing when you have one of your political opponents that you were vying for the presidency and exposing your prosecutorial record. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about, what's her name? Just that quick. I'm making sure my stuff is right over here. What is her name? You know, the one who had bodied her, the one from Hawaii, from Hawaii. She's now going to be on Donald Trump's debate, helping him to prepare for his debate with Kamala Harris. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My mind just went just quickly because I'm trying to get my thoughts together while I'm looking at these signals over here. Tulsi Gabbard, that's it. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard. So I'm not talking about Tulsi Gabbard that exposed her prosecutorial record and showed the world that she's a fraud and that she abused her power. I'm talking about the one and only Joe Biden, who exposed her record as well, too.
When Senator Harris was the Attorney General for 8 years in the state of California, there were two of the most segregated school districts in the country, in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. And she did not, like, I didn't see a single solitary time she brought a case against them to desegregate them. Secondly, she also was in a situation where she had a police department when she was there that, in fact, was abusing people's rights. And the fact was that she, in fact, was told by her own people, that her own staff, that she should do something about and disclose to defense attorneys like me that you, in fact, have been, the police officer did something that did not give you information would exculpate your client. She didn't do that. She never did it. And so what happened? Along came a federal judge and said, enough, and he freed 1,000 of these people. If you doubt me, Google 1,000 prisoners freed, Kamala Harris.
One of your top 8.
Knows who that is. Joe Biden is exposing her own prosecutorial record and how she abused her power and took advantage of people to where people had to go over her, or people who were above her had to hold her accountable. This is how wicked this woman was and really still is. This particular clip is also regarding one of the SA victims that was under her office that was violated. She knew about it, did nothing about it, and now she's questioned on it.
Larry Wallace was accused of sexual harassment, and you said you weren't aware of what had happened. Did anyone tell you what's going on at your office?
I did not know about that case, but I will tell you that it makes the point that no office is immune. I have been a fighter for women's rights, and for my entire career, I have fought for women who have been abused. I have fought for women who have been harassed. I have fought for women's empowerment as it relates to wage benefits, as it relates to opportunities for professional success, and I will always be a fighter for women's rights.
Did you reach to the alleged victim in this specific case to offer your support?
Clear question, right? Did you reach out to the victim that was harassed by one of your own workers?
I have indicated that I am very supportive of all women who come forward and speak up and have the courage to speak up.
In this specific case?
In this specific case, I have not talked to the victim.
Why didn't you talk to the victim?
That case is being handled by the Attorney General's office, and I've left it up to that office to handle the case as they have seen fit, which included a settlement.
Yeah, she's definitely lying. Yeah, she's absolutely lying, without question, no doubt about it. Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? It definitely looks that way. So you had an SA case against you or in your office. She did nothing about it, but remember, she cares about all women, right? Protect the women, believe all women, you know, the whole Me Too thing. She was one of the ones when Brett Kavanaugh was being nominated for Supreme Court Justice. She was going after him, believing what's her name? Blasey Ford, what's her name? Whatever that lady's name is. Kathleen Blasey Ford, whatever her name is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. She looked like she was lying when she took the stand. But yeah, she was bumbling, stumbling, wasn't really making any sense. You know she was lying. You know she was lying. But not only that, but she lied about her truancy law. Remember, she said that, you know, she didn't arrest parents. She said that on the Breakfast Club, that she didn't arrest parents whose children were truant or anything like that. Well, history and receipts are unforgivable. They never forget.
So I created this initiative with the intention of putting a spotlight on it, and frankly, willing to be the bad guy to put a spotlight on it, but with the intention, which was the goal, which was achieved, of then highlighting and uplifting the resources that were available for those parents to get those children to school every day.
So you didn't lock up parents when their kids didn't go to school? I'm just trying to clear up all the BS.
Yeah, no.
No, she said, no. I didn't lock up any kids whose parents, you know, whose kids were truant. I didn't lock up the parents. She said, no. Listen to it again. Listen to it again.
School every day.
So you didn't lock up parents when their kids didn't go to school. I'm just trying to clear up all the BS.
Yeah, no.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truants.
You hear that? She has a huge stick, and she's going to do what? What'd you say you're going to do again? Killer
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it.
I got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. What does that sound like to you? Does that sound like a community servant? Or does that sound like a tyrant, someone who's abusive? So she lied about her record of arresting parents whose children were truant. In fact, again, Cherie Peoples was one of the individuals who she arrested. Her child had sickle cell and was in a hospital for days at a time throughout the month. And what did Kamala Harris do? Was she understanding? Did she show grace and latitude? Nope. She arrested that woman. Had that woman thrown in jail, even knowing the fact that her child was sick and was battling sickle cell and was missing school. That's what happened. And this is why Cherie Peoples, you can look her up, she was arrested for truancy under Kamala Harris's truancy law. Again, we're just talking about Kamala Harris, the prosecutor now. We already see that her being a person is trash, but maybe she turned over a new leaf, and now maybe she's seen the light, and now she's treating people fairly and righteously as a prosecutor. Remember, because she said she's a Christian, right? That's what she said. I don't think so. And her record as a prosecutor gets even worse.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president. Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%.
Look at this. This is the left stream media. Mainstream, lamestream media even saying how bad Kamala Harris is.
Which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president.
Notice this is MSNBC saying she's the worst vice president, worst politician ever. MSNBC, ladies and gentlemen, not Newsmax, not Right Side News, not Fox, not any conservative station said that. This is the left stream, lame stream media saying this. Even Don Sweet Lemon Juice is talking about her.
President. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
The border is secure. We have a secure border.
Bidenomics is working.
Prices have gone up.
Really?
And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up.
He picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate. She was.
Y'all see this? Even Michael Moore. Listen, Michael Moore. You know it's bad when the left don't want you. This is why I'm saying this is a plot. This is why I'm saying this is an attempt and an agenda to get rid of Trump. Nobody wanted Kamala Harris. Nobody.
Ranked and is ranked as the most liberal senator in the United States Senate. So he could have gone the other way, but he went to the left.
Joe Biden is running for re-election, and I will be his ticket mate. Full stop. Full stop. That's it.
America has a deep and dark history of people using the power of the prosecutor as an instrument of injustice. I knew this history well, of innocent men framed, of prosecutors hiding information that would exonerate defendants.
Yes, and during her time as California's top cop, Harris contributed to that history repeatedly by going to bat on behalf of dirty prosecutors.
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Her office appealed the dismissal of a case in which a prosecutor had fabricated a confession to secure a conviction and fought an appeal in a case where a prosecutor had lied to the jury during trial. In 2015, Harris tried to stop the removal of the Orange County District Attorney's Office from a murder trial after it repeatedly failed to turn over evidence to the defense. Her office even tried to keep a man in jail who had been wrongfully incarcerated for 13 years after a judge ruled that he had proven himself innocent just because the man hadn't delivered that proof quite fast enough. And as San Francisco DA, Harris hid known misconduct by a crime lab technician who admitted to deliberately tainting evidence.
Did prosecutors working under you know about the concerns about that lab?
The prosecutors
which is what the judge alleged.
Did not know about it, at least said they did not know about it.
The debacle has since led to the dismissal of hundreds of criminal cases.
Let's believe in a more perfect union.
Hundreds.
Without mass incarceration of African American men.
We put more people in prison than any country on earth for no good reason.
Yes, we do. And once these people were in prison, Harris saw to it that they'd have a hell of a time getting out.
I absolutely believe there should be severe and serious consequence for violent crime, which is why I've prosecuted those cases, and will always seek the highest sentence. As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
Before her recent about face, Harris chose not to endorse proposed sentencing reforms on the California ballot in 2012 and 2014, and she defended the constitutionality of cash bail until 2016. Harris's office also fought an order to reduce California's prison population after the Supreme Court determined the conditions amounted to cruel and unusual punishment. Although she later claimed to be shocked by what they had done, Harris's attorneys argued that nonviolent offenders should stay behind bars because the state needed the cheap labor they provide.
So I created this initiative with the intention of putting a spotlight on it, and frankly, willing to be the bad guy to put a spotlight on it, but with the intention, which was the goal, which was achieved, of then highlighting and uplifting the resources that were available for those parents to get those children to school every day.
So you didn't lock up parents when their kids didn't go to school. I'm just trying to clear up all the BS.
Yeah, no.
Hold up.
As a prosecutor and law enforcement, I have a huge stick. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
That's you on tape.
The lies! There you go, this bitch. The lies. And I believe a child going without an education is tantamount to a crime. So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy. Well, this was a little controversial in San Francisco. And frankly, my staff went bananas. They were very concerned because we didn't know at the time whether I was going to have an opponent in my re-election race. But I said, look, I'm done. This is a serious issue, and I've got a little political capital, and I'm going to spend some of it. You ain't got to lie.
That's you on tape.
Well, let's see how much we've gotten so far. So, Kamala, the person, not good. According to scripture, she would not pass muster being a Christian. Kamala, the prosecutor, not good. Unjust weights and measures, doesn't seem to pass muster. How she treats people, abusing her power, walking around as a prosecutorial bully, being a tyrant. Doesn't seem to pass biblical muster, claiming to be a Christian, right? Claiming to be a Christian. That's what she said. She said that she is a Christian based on what they said. So now let's just talk about Kamala, the politician. How about that? Kamala, the politician. The politician. This the last leg. This is the last leg on this three-legged stool that's left. She's already lost the first two. Really can't stand on the third one. She's about to lean and fall over. She has not passed biblical muster as a person professing faith in Christ, as a prosecutor professing faith in Christ, or what as a politician. How about a politician? Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1 and 2. Woe to those who enact, or what sorrow awaits the unjust judges, those who constantly record unjust decisions, those who issue unfair laws so as to deprive the needy of justice and rob the poor of my people of their rights, so that widows may be their spoil and that they may plunder the orphans. They deprive the poor of justice and deny the rights of the needy among my people. They prey on widows and take advantage of orphans. You think that describes Ms. Harris? Let's look at some of their accomplishments, the Biden and Harris administration. You know, we were living under that, still living under it right now until he's gone. Allow 15 million unvetted illegals into the country. Historic inflation crisis. Record high gas prices in all 50 states. Record high consumer debt. Release terrorists into the country. The Ukraine-Russia war. Israel-Hamas war. Disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Violent crime skyrocketing. Trying to jail political rival in the name of democracy. Lied to the American public about Joe's decline. Decline war on American energy. Declare war on American energy. Record low test scores for K through 12 students. Most unpopular president and VP in history. And that's just to name a few. We ain't going to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. We're not going to talk about Tara Reid. Nah, not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about the 2020 election. Not going to talk about that. That'll get me blocked and banned. One individual writes this: let's not forget that the illegals are getting $1,000 worth of food stamps, and we're struggling trying to work hard just to put food on the table for our families and pay our bills, because if we don't, we'll be homeless and starve. Must be nice to break our immigration laws and commit any crimes against our citizens and get rewarded for it. Tell me what other country does this. Provide free, expensive hotels and housing. Fly free anywhere throughout our country for free. Get thousands of worth of food stamps. Free health care. Commit a crime and get away with it. And they get free driver licenses, amnesty. They will get to illegally and unconstitutionally vote in our elections. Don't forget that. Don't miss that. Because that's the plan. Their plan is to allow these illegal aliens to vote in the 2024 election. This is why some of your Democrat mayors and Democrat governors and Democrat local politicians are going to Washington to lobby and to support the law of not having voter ID. But these same hypocrites, these same liars, you have to have an ID to go to their DNC convention. These same hypocrites and same liars that claim that having borders is racist have no problem having gates and fences and snow trucks blocking entrance of these protesters that are in Chicago right now from gaining access into their rally or into their convention. Kamala Harris was demanding people to have an ID in order to attend her rally, but she's against voter ID in elections. Make that make sense. If you guys don't see what's wrong with that picture, I can't help you. I'm trying, but I can't. I can't force you to see this. You need a driver's license in order to drive. You need a driver's license to buy a plane ticket. At least last time I checked. You need a driver's license to pretty much do an ID and pretty much to do anything in this country. And now they're giving these illegal aliens free everything. And the black person, the black community gets the shaft. Why? Because they don't need you anymore. White liberals don't need you. And these sellout coons are telling white liberals they don't need you either. They'll get to illegally and unconstitutionally vote in our elections and take over our jobs, housing, and free education too. Wow, this is too much. And the American people get to pay for all that. How is all of this fair, honorable, constitutional, and not upset you? But yet you have Roland Martin, you have Terry Anderson, you have all these sellout black preachers supporting this woman and her policies that we already know are godless. And this is why she's not putting it on her website. But game recognizes game. Game recognizes game. We can't forget the Afghanistan debacle. Harris says she had a key role in Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal decision. The vice president confirmed she was the last person in the room before Biden made the decision to move forward with withdrawing U.S. troops. Vice President Kamala Harris confirmed Sunday that she was the last person in the room before President Joe Biden made the decision to pull all U.S. troops out of Afghanistan. In an interview with CNN's Dana Bash on State of the Union, Harris was asked about being the last person in the room regarding major decisions, something that Biden has said is important to him in his working relationship with the vice president. Harris confirmed that was the case regarding the move to pull U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by September 11th. We see what your boy Luke said. African Americans get nothing from the Democrat Party. All they do is use us for our vote. But it's the same one who flipped the script after eating chicken with Kamala. Make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen. I'm confused, boss. I was confused. But not everyone is dumb. Not everybody's a sellout. Not everybody's a coon and a Sambo. There's some of us, even the unredeemed, can say, don't vote for Kamala. Do your research on that whole camp. Sway Lee urges people not to vote for Kamala Harris. He's a rapper, claiming she only supports legislation that is detrimental to black people. I mean, of course, when you come out and say this kind of stuff in the black community, you're seen as a sellout. Not the ones who are selling us out, but the ones who are warning us not to be sellouts. They call these people sellouts. But let's see how her politics and how she was as a politician when it came to the rule of law. Let's see how she handled people who broke the law as a politician. Did she demand justice for those who were violated by these criminals? Well, let's ask Christopher Boswell. Boswell, a twice convicted rapist, was charged with kidnapping, assault, and SA in 2020. Kamala Harris raised money to bail Boswell out of jail. Danica Floyd, in January 2020, Floyd was charged with second-degree murder after fatally stabbing a man who refused to have sex with her. Kamala Harris raised money to bail Floyd out of jail. Donovan Boone. Boone was charged with invading the home of his ex-girlfriend and strangling her. Kamala Harris raised money to bail Boone out of jail. Yeah, politician. Jaleel Stallings. In June 2020, Stallings was charged with the attempted murder of 2 police officers during the 2020 riots. Kamala Harris raised money to bail Stallings out of jail. Sean Tillman. Kamala Harris raised money to bail Tillman out of jail. Upon release, Tillman brutally murdered a passenger at a rail station in St. Paul, Minnesota. Kamala Harris is radically liberal and dangerously incompetent. And this was unbelievable. Thomas Mosley. Oh boy, don't look like a Mosley, do he? Don't look like a Thomas, but that's just me. Mosley was arrested for damaging a police station, drug charges, weapons charges, and rioting charges. Kamala Harris raised money to bail Mosley out of jail twice. Twice. Man twice bailed out by Kamala Harris backed fund gets arrested again. I'm just showing y'all receipts, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have to make any of this stuff up. Not one bit. Not one bit. Remember the border. Remember Kamala was called the border czar, even though she tries to deny it. She tried to deny it, but you can't deny it. Can't deny it because it's true. This is what she did. In fact, Joe Biden publicly gave her the charge of overseeing the border. They will say, well, she wouldn't call border czar. It's clear she was the border czar. It was clear that she was in charge of the border. It was clear that she had full authority by Biden to do whatever is necessary and did not have to check in with him. I don't have to make this up. Biden said it himself.
And I can think of nobody who's better qualified to do this than this is a woman who ran the second largest Attorney General's office in America after the United States Attorney General in the state of California, and has done a great deal upholding human rights, but also fighting organized crime in the process. So it's not her full responsibility and job, but she's leading the effort, because I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, they don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is? When she speaks for me.
When she speaks for me.
When she speaks for me. When she speaks for me. Doesn't have to check with me. Doesn't have to check with me. Doesn't have to check with me. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. And I hope we can move this along. So, Madam Vice President, thank you. I gave you a tough job, and you're smiling, but there's no one better capable of trying to organize this.
I want to be clear.
Now, he gave her the charge, right? He gave her the assignment. He gave her the responsibility to be in charge over the border. So that means whatever happens at the border is Kamala's responsibility. He said whenever she speaks for him. She does not have to go back and forth and check with him about anything. He has given the border over to her for her to oversee. If that's the case, if she is responsible for the border, then that means that she has the authority to say this.
To folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, do not come, do not come.
Why would she say do not come, if she does not have the authority to say do not come, do not come? Border Patrol agents don't have that authority. All they can do is enforce what's been authorized for them to enforce. But they can't tell anybody not to come across the border if those that are in charge over them tell them to. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? I'll repeat it again. I'll let her say it again.
To be clear, to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border, do not come, do not come. The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. There are legal methods by which migration can and should occur, but we, as one of our priorities, will discourage illegal migration. And I believe if you come to our border, you will be turned back.
So when did you turn them back, Kamala? Because they're still coming. They're still coming. And as they're coming over here, they're getting benefits like free food stamps, free money, and so forth.
A migrant, okay, an immigrant, left a receipt in the store. And you know how I got the food stamp remaining balance at the bottom of the receipt, right? $13,500 with a $5,000 cash, Larry. Okay. Migrant, somebody that's not from this country. Now, you are a veteran, and you've also served this country, correct?
Correct.
Now tell these people, okay, after I just said they left the receipt with a $13,000 food stamp balance. Tell these people, as a veteran that served this country, right? Tell them how much food stamps you get in a month.
$23. $23.
23, not 2,300.
$23.
Not 230. How much you getting in food stamps a month?
$23 a month.
$23 versus a person that's not even from this country versus a person that did not serve this country. $13,000 they said it was on that receipt.
$23.
And you fighting to get your what?
100.
Your 100% from the VA.
From the VA.
He can't even get it.
Right.
America, you should be ashamed of your God. You should be ashamed of yourself. See if Kamala gonna fix that. Here this man is a veteran, okay? Fighting for his 100%. He done fought for this country, and he get $23 worth of food stamps every month. And then they done found a damn receipt of an immigrant, a migrant, getting $13,000 a month, Larry. Not every 5 months, not every year. A month. Is it not a slap in the face?
Slap in the face. But that's sad. Fighting for this country ain't even worth it.
Nope. It's not.
No.
You got it? Roll with it.
Not only is it affecting people like this man, but it's also hitting close to home in other states like in California as well.
These South and West Side homeowners are angry. They believe the city has overextended itself and should be putting the tens of millions of dollars earmarked for migrants into Chicago's most vulnerable neighborhoods.
But the South Side has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. We have schools that need to be reopened. We have buildings that are abandoned that need to be business operated.
The group says the city has abandoned its Invest Southwest initiative, a Lightfoot-era program that was dedicated to reversing decades of disinvestment on Chicago's South and West Sides, promising to align more than $2.2 billion through public and private funding.
We are taxpayers, we're property owners. Our money should go towards fixing our communities.
The city has received more than 15,000 migrants since August 2022.
We have no more room. Y'all are embarrassing Chicago as a whole.
According to analysis by the ABC7 data team, there are more than 20 active migrant shelters across the city, 7 located on the South and West Sides.
Whether it's one shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, we're saying the facilities that are there for us, the money needs to be put into those facilities for us. Mayor Johnson, the black aldermen, the black alderwomen in this city, you will stand for the black citizens of Chicago.
Let them talk so they have a voice.
A call for order during a heated meeting at Woodlawn's Apostolic Church of God.
Who's helping me?
The focus, this migrant shelter in the old Wadsworth Elementary School.
I would ask you all to go out there at night, in the middle of the night, and see what goes on.
What's going on, according to community members, is loitering, late-night partying, littering, prostitution, and at least one fight between migrants and residents.
It got a little heated. Objects got thrown.
But many of these residents say they no longer have any tolerance for the disruptive behavior by those seeking asylum here. It's making them feel unsafe.
They disrespect us, they rob us, they harass us.
And their patience is wearing thin.
Let me say this. They got one more time to deal with it, because otherwise, next time they deal with it, they're going to deal with it from the streets. We're going to take over it. Nobody's going to be able to stop us from what we're going to do to them.
Much of the residents' anger was directed at city officials in attendance, including 20th Ward Alderwoman.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have. Are you aware that there are immigrant advocates at state houses all over this country who are advocating for non-citizen voting in local elections?
This is what you all voted for by voting
Democrat.
Democrat.
Here? That would change the mindset of what we as a black community need to thrive here in Chicago. That's a concern of ours. This is much bigger than the mayor of Chicago or Chicago Police Department. This is an effort to destroy our neighborhoods and silence our voices even further.
In reality, the Democrats have been very open for years about the fact they see illegal immigration as the key to making blue states red and securing permanent power with a dependable and dependent voting bloc. It seems their voters are finally waking up to that.
More than 8,000 migrants have been bused to Chicago, most of them from Texas, since late August.
The city has housed asylum seekers in shelters, Park District facilities, and police stations. City Hall now proposes housing 250 to 500 migrants at the shuttered South Shore High School. Despite community pushback, the city opened a vacant Woodlawn school to migrants earlier this year. South Shore residents expressed similar concerns about safety, use of their tax dollars. Many felt blindsided.
We do not hear from city officials until election time. This is insulting at its best.
American children who are already struggling academically, you're going to bring in a new group of children, a new group of people, take those resources away from Americans to accommodate this new group of people. That is going to make the children going to fall further behind. Unemployment is going through the roof. Poverty, crime. This is going to impact our communities across this city to the point to where violence, murder, robbery is going to spike. Not just with Americans, but also with these people coming here. 3,000 illegal immigrants are living in this factory, almost, a half a block long? And this is going to transcend into public housing. Yep. They keep saying that there will be no public housing for illegal immigrants. That's not true. So we pay to be homeless, basically, now as United States citizens. We're going to flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago, and that's a fact.
Let's see. I hope it is. It's sad that it has to take this for black people to open their eyes that the Democrat Party never cared about them. Never. And they're showing it. They're playing in black folks' face, pissing on them and calling it lemonade and rain. And yet it took this for people to have their eyes open. Unfortunately, sometimes it's what it takes. But again, as a politician, are Kamala Harris's philosophies and her views align with biblical principles as a politician? Well, her views on how we should label terrorists and illegals is something to hear.
And we must have the courage to object when they use that term, radical Islamic terrorism, which ignores how Muslims have overwhelmingly been the greatest victims of terror. And we must also have the courage to reject that term illegal alien.
Reject the term illegal alien. We need to stop saying that, Kamala says. We need to stop calling Islamic terrorists Islamic terrorists and stop calling illegal aliens illegal aliens. That's offensive, according to Kamala. Now, last night, Biden had basically said again that Kamala Harris is a DEI. He said he has one of the most diverse, equity, inclusive administrations known in history. And he identified Kamala as a DEI, just like he did in his speech highlighting DEI a couple years ago. Matter of fact, I think just recently.
Diversity, equality, inclusion are literally, and that's not kidding, the core strengths of America. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history. It taps into the full talents of our country and starts at the top with the vice president.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
You heard what she said. You heard what she said. You heard what she said. I repeat it.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
Now, her handlers and writers said that she was supposed to have said reduced pollution. Well, kind of hard to be convinced otherwise when we know that you support Planned Parenthood and believe that babies should be murdered in the womb. But anyway, as a politician, her views on immigration, her views on terrorism, her views on population control, all left-wing, all left-leaning, but also her views on who she should fund and who she should support, who pillage and riot our communities seems to be left-leaning too.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden's campaign staff have said they've donated to this type of cause. Even former Democratic presidential candidate and potential VP pick Kamala Harris took to Twitter to support the Minnesota Freedom Fund, writing, if you're able to chip in now to the @MN Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota.
Today represents a great...
Interesting. They never supported the January 6th, quote unquote, insurrectionists, as they want to call it. They never had any funds for them. But yeah, Minnesota burning, had no problem funding that.
Day for California. It represents a great day for the United States and for all of the people of the United States.
Now she's giving her view about same-sex marriage. Let's see if it's biblical as a politician.
The United States Supreme Court today made clear that Proposition 8 is unconstitutional. What we have argued all along, in reference to the 14 times the United States Supreme Court has found marriage to be a fundamental right, is that when Prop 8 denied same-sex couples their right to marry, their right to express their love in a way that would be recognized by the law, it was against the very founding principles of our country. It denied them equal protection and due process, and for that reason should be banned and should not be allowed in this great state of California. Today, the United States Supreme Court made a ruling based on the arguments we have been making all along. The proponents of Proposition 8 did not have standing. What does that mean? It means those people who want to deny same-sex couples the benefits of equal protection and due process under the United States Constitution cannot do so simply because they don't like the notion. The United States Supreme Court, in essence, declared today they are bystanders. They are sitting in the sidelines. They can have their freedom of expression, but they cannot deny Americans, they cannot deny citizens of this country equal protection and due process under the law. Today is a great day for our country. Today is a day not unlike everything we did when we passed the Civil Rights Act, when we passed laws that say that all people are created equal. Today is a day that reaffirms our commitment as a country to giving every person equal protection and due process under the law. I sent a letter to the governor outlining our position on this matter, and essentially this letter, which the governor received from me as his lawyer, outlines the law of the land in California and our interpretation of it. And what we have basically given the governor and the Department of Public Health is advice based on the law in California and the law of the United States that the 58 counties of the state of California must abide by the ruling of Von Walker from the district court when the stay is lifted and must commence marriages in California. I am also calling on the Ninth Circuit today to urge them in the strongest terms that they lift the stay and enforce the permanent injunction that Von Walker outlined so that marriages can begin in California immediately.
Not only that, her view on abortion. Let's see if that's Christian.
Kamala Harris is just as bad. You know, Rachel, she has been pro-abortion from the get-go. When she was the governor, when she was the Attorney General of California, she was advocating to get pregnancy resource centers that are pro-life to post-abortion ads in their clinics. She went after David Daleiden, the pro-life journalist, to try to put him in jail for exposing Planned Parenthood selling baby body parts. It's absolutely horrific how she not only wants abortion on demand, but she wants to throw pro-lifers in jail who are investigating the abortion facilities or protesting them. So we are dealing with the most pro-abortion ticket in American history.
And by the way, the botched abortion baby stuff, they call it, when they left those babies to die, they call it comfort care. It is the most evil euphemism for leaving a struggling infant who was born alive to just die. It's so unbelievable. And you're right, what Kamala Harris did in California, She took campaign money from Planned Parenthood and used her office to go after pro-lifers in highly unconstitutional ways.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is going to, and she has trampled on the First Amendment. She does not care about freedom of speech for pro-life Americans. If you're her political enemy, she's going to attack you. That's what she's proven in her track record. So she's a danger to every single American's First Amendment freedoms. And then in addition, she's a danger to every American child because they and her partner now, her running mate, Tim Walz, they do not see these as human beings. You can do whatever you want to the unborn child. You can kill them until birth, and if they survive after birth, just leave them to die. This is their platform, and we must stand against it.
Harvesting baby body parts and calling this reproductive freedom. Some even call it reproductive justice. Justice for who? Surely not justice for the innocent, not justice for the babies, those who are being massacred and mutilated and dismembered and being sold, harvested, body parts are being harvested and sold like car parts. The Bible says a man of wicked devices is hated. I don't know if anyone else could be more hated than those in the abortion industry. They're just my thoughts about it. And I believe I have biblical backing to support that. But as the more Kamala talks, the more she seems to put her foot in her mouth, among other orifices.
Costs are still too high. There's not much left at the end of the month, and prices are still too high. Everyday prices are too high. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. The bill.
Now, she said this in Michigan, I believe. This is this year. She's still VP. Now, she's the one that signed that was the deciding vote for the immigration reduction. I mean, not the immigration reduction, the Inflation Reduction Act. The Inflation Reduction Act. She was the tiebreaker, the deciding vote to help reduce inflation, and all it did is made it worse because most of this money was going to the Green New Deal, or as Trump called it, the Green New Scam, and also more money for Ukraine and all this other kind of crap. But it didn't help. But nonetheless, she was the deciding vote. She was the deciding vote. The House and the Senate was split 50-50, or the Congress was split 50-50, and she was the deciding vote. Since she's the vice president, she has the tie-breaking vote, and she voted in support and in favor for the Inflation Reduction Act. And so now here she is talking, while being VP, talking about how times are hard and how it's hard to make ends meet.
That up. Food, rent.
Under her and Biden's administration, this speech is being made.
Gas, back to school clothes, prescription medication, the cost of food. A loaf of bread costs 50% more. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's a serious housing shortage. The price of housing has gone up. It's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up. It is out of reach. The size of down payments have gone up as well. Costs are still too high. There's not much left at the end of the month, and prices are still too high.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And
how stupid is that? I mean, I know y'all seen this before, but you can't get any more dumber than this.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
Mute that part because I don't want you to start tripping about that.
Not visit the border. Why not see what Americans are seeing in this crisis?
Well, we are going to the border. We have to deal with what's happening at the border. There's no question about that. That's not a debatable point. But we have to understand that there's a reason people are arriving at our border.
She keeps saying we. Who's we? Who's we? That's what I want to know. And you see most people not buying it. This is sad. And this is who people are voting for and are talking about supporting. This woman. This is who they're talking about supporting. Last but not least, her policies or as a politician, what she has supported, what she has voted for, what she has endorsed and signed into law, it has affected everyone, but particularly, again, the black community. The black community. Illegal aliens have come over and have taken over. And it's affecting now black people to the point to where now they are making it known in public that this thing is not a joke, this stuff is real, and it is hitting people where it hurts in their pocketbook, like this lady.
I need this message to go out to our vice president who's running for president. I have heard all over social media about, excuse me if I say anything wrong, immigrants getting loans, money. It was hard for me to believe. It was just extremely hard for me to believe. I've been in business such a long time. Back in 2019, I purchased my first food truck. It cost me over $25,000. I paid it cash money. I worked hard to pay for this truck. I'm now selling it because I'm doing other things, but I'm selling it. I had a guy come to look at purchasing my vehicle, or my food truck, and he explained to me he's an illegal immigrant. He has no credit. He has no money in the bank.
Okay.
But he showed me his paperwork that he will receive funds to purchase my food truck. I'm thankful that he's buying it, but I'm hurt that I worked so hard to pay cash for my food truck. I have good credit, can't even get a business loan because of the color of my skin. I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long. But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck. And when I talked to the bank, they told me usually they have to go straight to a dealership because I'm a private sale. But for special circumstances, they're going to, they allow it. But I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades. Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business. And we got immigrants coming here. And they're getting money. Money!
Your money, our money.
We're doing nothing but just being here. It's not right, and I want answers.
You won't get them from her, and you won't get it from the Biden administration. And you know what? Democrats don't believe that they owe you any answers. And there lies the problem. There lies the problem. I don't know what else to tell you all other than what I've already said. I mean, of course, the more you dig, the more you drill, there's more receipts that can come up. But I believe, I hope and pray that I presented my case regarding that Kamala Harris, not only is she not black, but she's not for us. Never has been, never will be. She's an opportunist. She's a chameleon. She's a scammer. And she only gets over on people who are just as ignorant and dumb as she is. And really, it's kind of hard to determine, to decipher who's really the dumb one, because she's the one getting over. Those who are following them are the ones that's basically the ones that are stupid. I agree, dear. If she were to do a town hall meeting, she wouldn't last past the first question. Yep. Delando, you said the facts may cut us, but it is needed and absolutely necessary for all of us to know and sound the alarm. Yeah. And let me just say this. I just got this from YouTube. They have demonetized my channel, my video rather. says, hi, BCV. Copyrighted content has been detected in your video. The visibility of your video is not impacted, but you can no longer monetize it. And this is what has been happening pretty much every time I go on my thing. It's the I was wrongfully convicted by the office of Kamala, the one I just did on Jamal Trulove. I'm going to contest it, as I've been doing before. I'm definitely going to contest it because it's fair use. So I'm definitely going to do that. And it's just this is where we are. But pretty much everything that I put up is been the issue of them talking about fair use or me not having copyright. It's public domain. It's fair use. And again, I'm asking those of you who support this ministry, support this channel, do not send any resources over to Super Chat. None. Send it over through the other donation links if you decide to support this ministry. But this is what it's about. This is why I'm hesitant on even doing more videos, because it seems the ones that I do get hit the most. You got people talking about all kind of foolish and wicked and ungodly stuff, and they don't get hit even a tenth as much as I do. I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the facts. And this is where it is. This is where we are. So that's all I wanted to say about this tonight. And yeah, I don't know what justifies these people suspending my stream, bro. Other than they do what they want. They do what they want. They do what they want. So yeah. But again, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you, Sister Christina. Do not support BCV by Super Chat. There are links in the video below. Please prayerfully consider supporting it through those means and methods. Those who are able to do so, please do. Those who are not, your prayers are appreciated. I do appreciate it, and thank you so much. As you can see, I don't just throw stuff together. This is a labor of love for the body of Christ, to the body of Christ, because I believe that the Black community is in trouble. We are in deep trouble, and we need content like this and others to put the word out and to be able to open the eyes of those who are blind based on tradition, not on truth. Because if it were truth, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. I wouldn't even have to do these videos. I wouldn't even have to go as hard as I've been going these past 2 videos, even though my content is being demonetized. And it ain't just this one. The one I did with Trump, they reduced my revenue on that. Anything that I do of a political, moral, spiritual nature, if I deal with politics, they flag my stuff. If I deal with abortion, they flag my stuff. If I deal with particular candidates and issues, they flag it for whatever. I'm not discouraged. Just giving you all the information so that way you know what to pray for and know how to support this ministry and this channel. So that is that's all I got. All of these clips, the others are showing. Yeah, I know, sis. I know. We know what this is about. We know this is about, and I'm okay. I do this for the body of Christ, and so I'm encouraged with that. But I just want to keep you all abreast and aware of what's going on. All right. So as we close, please don't, if you don't mind, please like, subscribe, and share this content. Use the Zelle, use the Cash App, use the Venmo. Those are the methods that we use for this channel, this ministry. We do appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for that. Also, have I thought about Rumble and Patreon? Rumble, I've had Rumble. Again, it's a lot of work for me to try to maintain two channels. But yes, I do have Rumble, but I have not placed any videos on there. I think I've maybe done like 2 or 3 different videos, and those are the ones that YouTube had took down when I was talking about the 2020 election. Take a while guess why they took that video down and gave me a matter of fact, I got a copyright strike because of my commentary regarding the 2020 election. Yeah. So you can guess why that is, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, it just takes a lot of work, y'all, to maintain this stuff, to do research. You know, even the stuff that I was reading, all that requires time and research and study. So I will, I'll keep you all, you know, informed with that. Yes, I do have Telegram too, Miss Sherry. I was using those things when the 2020 election was really hot and heavy. I was using those when it was really hot and heavy and thick. And it's been a minute since I've been on there. But yeah, like I said, it just takes a lot of work. When you one person, it's kind of hard to try to maintain all these different, you know, channels and stuff. But I keep all my videos. I save all my videos on my external drive in case YouTube gets stupid and they try to take all my stuff down. I have everything. So, Malika, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll definitely take you up on that. I'll definitely take you up on that. I sure will. Email me your information, SaikoWoods@yahoo.com, and your number, and I'll keep in touch with you on that as well too. All right. But anyway, that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. I know day 2 of the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is on. I'm not sure if Barack is speaking yet. Some of y'all may want to check him out. I check this stuff out as much as I can stomach it for research purposes. But you know, you got to be aware of what's going on, so that way we can have intelligent, informed conversations with those who are not aware. But this is my email for those who want to reach out to me, send me words of encouragement, things of that nature. Again, you can go to the website. You go to the link here, the email, and the links below to send your support that way to support this ministry, this channel. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much as well. But that's it. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. That is my time. I thank you so much for yours. And y'all know the drill. Whatever you do all to the glory and honor of God. God bless.
Thank you for sharing this night. God bless you. Good night.
It's time to say goodbye for now.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. All the time. Right, these are good pimp squad, baby.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
These